All right. So, hello everyone. This is Janel Davis, my mom, and we're just gonna ask her a few questions about her career and just her life experiences and how she is where she is now. So, what inspired you to pursue a career in engineering, in systems engineering at Lockheed Martin?
Okay, so again, my name is Janel Davis. So I've had the great pleasure of my background is in physics, excuse me. I graduated from Grambling State University, then I went off to Howard University, and then I ended up at Colorado State University. And then from there, I ended up working at Lockheed Martin Corporation, which is an engineering company. I worked in the operations sector or portions, and I also worked in test and development. Actually, when I first started into the career, I was just looking for an opportunity to just get into a professional environment. And that was one opportunity that came to me. It was not necessarily in the field where I was trained, but it was great because it was an opportunity where I could continue learning. I got the opportunity to not only learn like software, but also software deliveries and software testing platforms. So it was not something that I aimed for, but God was good and gave me that opportunity to learn from the company that way, or an opportunity to get that type of job. How does a systems engineer collaborate with other teams within Lockheed Martin? So yes, we were able to collaborate and work with different groups, different people. So with Lockheed Martin, when you have what you call deliverables, whether it's software or contracts that you're writing, you do work as a group. So they actually foster that type of environment where we're working in teams. So with that said, we were placed together to work on whether it was software development or package. We all had our piece that we were expected to deliver, whether it was, okay, the software developer got us the change or the fix, or the software is broken. We take that into the environment, and then we work with whatever the operational group over that position. We work with them to make sure we haven't broken anything further, or to make sure that we provide them with the changes that they need. So in that sense, we were always working as a team. And with that, it was great. The exchange in terms of experience was always wonderful, but there was also, sometimes we bump heads because we may not always agree with how a change should be implemented, or what should be updated in order to help the people that we're delivering the software to. Yeah, Lockheed Martin does, where I was, or the position that I was functioning in, they fostered teamwork because we had to work together in order to satisfy what the customer wanted. And the customer was usually the government.
Oh yeah, so like government contracting. Okay. Yeah, that's really good that they were able to, like, it sounds like all of you guys are working together. I mean, you're saying like sometimes like you guys might not have like the best time, but you guys were still able to like work together and like get things done as a team, like just as a group. So like that's good. Having people to work with instead of like just working alone, that's always a plus. Who's somebody that you looked up to and that inspired you to like achieve great things?
So I had two managers in the company, one under the operational component. Operational means that we are working with day-to-day tasks. When I say test environment, means we are working in a test environment where we're checking new fixes or new changes to the software before we deliver to operations. With that said, say your question again, because I was getting ready to say something else. I lost it just that quick.
No problem. My question was like, who would you?
Right. Who? Okay. So two managers. The two managers, the one that I remember in particular, I'll just mention the one, was Bob Romano. So he always saw opportunities for us. Like, even if I started off in operations, but he allowed me more opportunities, like to participate in. They had with Lockheed Martin, where they brought on certain people who were advancing at different parts of the company, whether you worked in contracts, whether you worked in HR, so whether you worked in engineering or test and development. So they would bring us all together for like a round table. So he chose me to do that, and sometimes when someone has or sees something in you that you could do more, or, this is for you. He was that type of person. So he would sign us up for different things as a manager. And I just appreciated that. He also gave opportunities for us to move across different software platforms, because we are always changing, delivering based on what the customer needs, that being the government at the time. They had different things that they wanted us to satisfy, or different projects they wanted to complete. And so I was able to work on different projects because of his involvement, or the type of manager that he was. So he was a great influence for me, and not just for me, for others. He was always looking for opportunities for his workers to excel. So I just appreciated that about him.
So he just wanted his employees to succeed. So you said like,
absolutely.
Who was the other one?
I want to say his last name was Mallard, but I'm not sure. So he was there when I initially got there. So coming out of college, when you're coming out of college or grad school, you don't have a lot of money. So I was just happy to be working. I just appreciated with him, Maynard, that's what it was. I just appreciated with him that he was like, okay, we're going to pay you this much. Coming from not making any money, having graduate school, graduate students don't get paid a lot, so I had a graduate student assistantship. When you come from that background and you come into start working, I saw that first paycheck, I was like, woo! So I appreciated him in offering the money that he offered. There is still that gap when they talk about women not necessarily making as much as men, but I think the people that or management that I had in front of me, they try to get as close to closing out that gap as possible when it comes to what women make and what men make, especially like in the engineering or software engineering part. What skills and qualification are important? Okay, so with software engineering, my degree is in physics, so I'm in a STEM area or science. So I think that helped with the level of skill that they needed. So with Lockheed Martin, even though I didn't necessarily work in physics per se, the fact that I had exposure to some coding or software development, the fact that I've had some level of math, those were all important to Lockheed Martin, like the math component, the exposure to software coding or development. I don't know if you guys, I don't know what they use it now, but ISO is a standard where quality assurance, where when you deliver a software package to a company, they want to make sure it's at its best. They want to make sure that it does exactly what they're paying for. So those qualities, so they were looking for college graduates. They were looking for people with a STEM background. And I had all of those behind me. And they want you to be self-motivated. They don't want to have to sit there and hold your hand and say, okay, you got this project to do, and then they come back to you later, you're still at that same point. You have to be self-motivated and willing to push forward, even through, sometimes difficult situations, especially if we're not agreeing on how something should be implemented, but we have to get there. So definitely teamwork, being able to collaborate with others, being able to, go back to the drawing board if a fix doesn't work or it doesn't come together the way that it should. So all of those are important for skills and qualifications. Hopefully I answered that question. You can let me know if not, and then I can try to rephrase it.
That was good. That was really good. Yeah, like Lockheed Martin, that sounds like they're just really good in just supplying the government with what they need, and just really serious about making sure that they put out a quality product. Just make sure that the software is right.
So the other one says, can you tell me about the typical projects that systems engineers works on? So for this particular projects that we work on software for satellites. You upload software so that satellites have information or data that they collect. So that's what we tended to do or work on. So typical projects could be, we would have, let's say you deliver a software package, like you're used to working with Microsoft, or if you have an Apple product, whatever that Apple product is, The thing about it is that as they're making changes to your Apple product, it's kind of like the same thing. You work on projects to say, like FaceTime. Let's say there's some glitches in FaceTime and you want to improve it. So first they do like a testing environment. They try to figure out, okay, people are saying it's glitching, it's not working perfectly. I'm just giving that example. I don't want y'all to go and say like Miss Janelle said, or I said it, Apple's broken. I'm just giving that as an example. Let's use Microsoft. So let's say there's something glitching in a doc. So we work through that, and then we work out the kinks, and then we deliver it to operations, meaning we make it available to the customer that they can use in real time versus us using it in a test environment. So typical projects for me would be tests. So test and development, I deliver to operations. So when we deliver to operations, we stayed there. So if you make a change to the software, you had to be on site, because if something went wrong, we'd have to back it out because they're in operations. They have to continue going. So it could be that. It could be backing something out because it didn't work like we thought. Even though we tested it, something went wrong. So those were the typical projects that I worked with. But Lockheed Martin is immense, right? They do, planes, they do all kinds of stuff. So I'm sure a typical project for that group would be something different than what I experienced. So it just depends on what group you worked with. But here in this area, Lorton or Springfield, that's the group that I worked with.
Yeah, that's good. All right. We're gonna begin to wrap this up a little bit, but
okay.
What would you tell younger Janelle just starting at Lockheed Martin?
At Lockheed Martin, younger Janelle. That is a great question. I kind of liked what I was doing. Let me see. Well, what I didn't do is they were trying to see if I wanted to do the management track. I did not pursue the management track. I was a team lead versus a manager. I really did not want to do that. I'm still thinking about it. I still don't want to be a manager. That's a lot of work. I mean, I don't know what I would tell myself. I would say to myself, because I know there were times that I got kind of aggressive. I would just say, calm down. Because the management track, I'm still thinking like, yeah, I didn't want that. That takes a special purpose and personality, and that was not my area. And I'm okay with that. There's some people that are built for that. I was not. I just wanted to do my little side projects, do my little software stuff, do my little tests, and go home.
Yeah.
And they made room for that. And I was able to lead a group from a technical standpoint. Because I think once for us in the engineering perspective, if you start to go into the management side, excuse me, you start to lose the technical aspect. And I didn't want to lose that. You get more into the people side, and I really wanted to continue to work in the software and the testing side. I didn't want to move outside of that. I was okay with the lead portion because you're just leading people or giving people their part of the project to complete. But once you start getting into the management side, that's HR, that's performance evaluations. And even though I did give recommendations for performance evaluations, that didn't consume my day. So I'm happy that I stayed in the tech lead position. I would just say to my younger self, calm down.
Calm down, yeah.
Yep, calm down. Because I was wound pretty tight.
Yeah, just do the job, and then go home. That's honestly what I want. I just want to be able to just work my job.
Yeah, and it has to be fulfilling. So I was fulfilled in that aspect. That's just not what my track was. But it depends on, like, some people like that. They're people oriented. And that's the track that they want to be on. And that's cool. That's what you're built to. That's what you want to do.
All right. Thank you so much for getting on.
You're welcome.
It was amazing talking to you. Thank you so much. This has been great.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you. We appreciate you for answering our questions.
Absolutely.
And finding the time.
Yep. No problem at all.
All right. Have a good one, y'all. All right. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. All right.
All right. Have a good one.
You as well. Take care.